Good morning. Since I've been on the scene with this location, which has been maybe a year and a half, they had this cake freezer. There's two of them. The left one's been dead for a few years. So I quoted replacing it last year. They didn't want to do it, and now it's time. So we shall see. Fan motor is definitely locked up and dead. Compressor is short to ground. Pardon me. And so the hard part, with much like a car sitting broken for years, is that even when we replace the compressor and the fan motor, what are we going to find? I brought a receiver in case this is leaking, so I'm going to pressure test it before I swap compressors. Obviously we're going to replace the dryer, but I mean, we may need a new low pressure control, we may need a new controller. We're definitely, this is nice, we're definitely going to replace the contactor. It doesn't need the clock. So let's start the journey of bringing up the entire van to the roof. No way around it. We're going to have to change this receiver. This is why I brought one. You know, I knew we would be rolling the dice with what else needed to be done. So, all right, we're off and running. So what I'm gonna do, I got my dryer set to go in there. I'm actually gonna add a service port here so I can make my service connections externally and I don't have to open and close valves. I've got my compressor unhooked. I've got my ports removed. All right, the hits keep coming. So this is a Masterbilt. Masterbilt's dead and gone. So this motor, my local parts house said this motor will work. And specifically, it's a little bigger, but it'll fit my bracket. Nope. Now I'm gonna have to offset it, make my own, which I can do, but I have to make very certain that we get this centered or we're gonna have fan blade problems. Right along, we have the controversial Nylog, LOL. So it comes with two sets of gaskets, depending on your size. So gaskets are in, everything's tightened down. These are back in. I've torched the bottom before. Now I'm gonna torch the top. The tentative good news is that I've soaked everything with bubbles. We're under pressure, right? Not a lot. We're 100 PSI. We're under pressure. All my joints are good, but they torched real nice today. Very happy with those torches today. We were not leaking from here, so that's nice. Although I'm not going to use it. I pulled it out of the mix, but I still have the ability to pump the system down with it, so that's nice. Yeah. What I think I'm actually gonna do is, just side note, I'm gonna come back with a inline shut off here. Shut this down, pump it down, pull it out, cut it, put my shut off, because someday I'm gonna have to change this receiver and we're gonna lose all that refrigerant that day. Anyway, all right, well, I'm gonna pull the nitro out of this, get a vacuum going, and then we're gonna deal with the motor nonsense and all the rest. All right, a lot of things I want to talk about. I just haven't. Point of frustration. You know what this compressor costs. It's top dollar, man. Give me new spring feet. Building the cost for new spring feet, right? I got this beautiful new system, dryer, new motor, new everything. I got these ugly springs, terrible. So we're pulling a vacuum. We're actually rocking. We're slowly getting there. This has been dead for a long time and it didn't have a lot of gas in it. So I was able to get this drilled out and mounted. Bada bing. So this is just rotation. And now here's our wiring. We got to get that set. We've got our compressor wired in. We're just waiting for this to get down to 500. We're gonna let her rip. All right, so I have to return that compressor for a charge. There she is. Nice job. She's tight. 12 minutes, still 900 microns. Gas it up. All right, so the unit downstairs is turned on, so the controller's on. I was actually just talking to the manager of this location, and she said this unit has been down for something more like, she thinks, 6 to 8 years. So, no telling when we flip this breaker what's going to happen. Okay, that being the case, what I just did was I went through everything with continuity to ground. So I've replaced that contactor, but I tested all those wires to ground. Same within here, so that if we had a wire that was a problem, woo, she ain't been running in a minute. There she goes, baby. My fan's spinning the wrong direction. All right, so she's cycling off on low pressure. You can see our side class. We're definitely gonna have to adjust the low pressure control. So we're gonna go ahead and give more refrigerant here. I mean, we've only got 4 pounds in. This receiver says it can take 11, so we'll see. Let me bring you in here. 28 degrees. The drain line is broken, the hose is broken, but I keep these in the truck for good reason. So this goes here. This is the existing drain line. We just cut it back. So we have to drop this. The drain line heater is absolutely still working. Albeit for how long, who knows. Talk about a cool video, the drain line heater. So when that hits water, we're gonna have a problem. All right, so yeah, the defrost drain line heater's not happening. I am interested in, before we, right, is just making sure we put it in a defrost, we get amp draw, that the regular heaters work. So I don't want to order this heater and then find out next week we need a different heater, right? So all right, so our side class is flashing. We're running really high head pressure, but I can tell you these coils, they're just impacted. It's been sitting here gathering dust for the last 8 years. I'm here with the internal maintenance guy. He's been helping me today, and he said when he goes through and cleans coils, he doesn't do this one. So gotta get the head pressure down. So the reality is we're gonna keep this guy off anyway until we get that drain line heater. Let's see what we're getting out of this guy, and then we're gonna put some coil cleaner in it. Guess I should have thought about this and done it while I had the fan out. So the saddest part about this whole ordeal is that it's working good, but I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to leave here today, and they're going to fill this with cakes because it doesn't have a defrost drain pan heater. And we could, right? It's Thursday. This thing is not going to ice up and lose temperature by Monday. It will ice up, but it won't lose its temperature until after Monday when we get back. But that's bad for the system. So it is what it is. You just got to get the actual drain line heater, which I've already ordered. I'm going to get this coils cleaned up, get all this debris from in front of it. Alright, so I've got it cutting out at about 8 PSI. These cake freezers run really low. The set point on that unit is 10 below. So you get short cycling problems with these units running super low pressures. I've got one in my world that I changed that literally it runs at like 5 PSI all the time. It's ridiculous. Well, we've got the side glass clear. We cleaned the coils. I've been running for 10 minutes. And now our pressures are back in line. A lot more airflow on the coil side of things. But yeah, I was just concerned running 300 head pressure with a flashing sight glass. It means I gotta make the problem worse, so. There you have it. -10. So we are gonna shut it down until I get back. All right, so perfect. I unplugged it downstairs, which means the solenoid closed and the system pumps down and she's off. I'm gonna leave the power on up here since it's off downstairs. So see ya round 2. But the unit's running. I mean, the unit freezes. The problem is the unit doesn't defrost and drain all over a drain line here. Boo.